Rocking Entrepreneur, Episode 4.
I kind of was always thinking, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to get a big pile of money and then just do creative work? And what I realized was after getting funded, like immediately after, what came with it was a huge sense of pressure.
Hello fellow rock stars. I am so excited to have Shankar Tucker here today. Shankar, are you ready to rock?
Yeah, man, sounds good. All
Perfect.
good.
So, Shankar rose to popularity from ShrutiBox, which amassed more than 15 million views in just 2 years. He has played alongside Hariprasad Chaurasia and Zakir Hussain and is a TEDx and Inks Fellow. He has an amazing fan following which has helped him reach his Kickstarter campaign target in just 6 days. I can go on and on about this amazing person, and there are chances you already know more about what I can speak. So let's hear it from him directly. Welcome to the show, Shankar. I've given our fellow rock stars a brief introduction, so take some time and describe a bit more about your professional and your personal life.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me here, Tushar. And my name's Shankar. I'm a musician. I composer and a producer and clarinet player, and I work a lot with Indian music and Indian fusion music. So it's kind of what I do.
Give our audience an idea. What does 15 million views for ShrutiBox translate in terms of financial help that ShrutiBox got from YouTube, just from YouTube channel?
Well, can't give you specifics, but it's not a huge amount by any means, but it's not that bad either. I can, support myself doing this full time. Not the most luxurious lifestyle, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. I hope that it's something that I can continue to grow.
And is it any different the way Google pays in India versus it pays in US?
I signed up from the US basically. I mean, most of the money does not come from YouTube. That's partly because what I do is, I do a lot of cover songs, and most of the advertising revenue goes to the original rights holders. So most musicians on YouTube don't get their main income from YouTube, unlike comedy people.
But if you start your own music channel like ShrutiBox was, I would assume that you are the right owner, right?
It's complicated. If I'm doing a song of like A.R. Rahman, he's the original composer and he's the original rights holder for the composition. I'm the rights holder for the recording that I did. But it splits it up in terms of revenue from ad revenue on YouTube. So in that case, the original composer gets most of the income.
Okay, so my next question is, when was your aha moment? You think that you said to yourself, okay, here I am. I kind of think that I made it. And how was that feeling?
Oh man, I mean, I've had good moments, but I definitely don't feel like I have made it. It's work in progress. I'm still, working at it, still trying to make the best music I can and get it to people.
So at any point of those couple of years, did you have any existential crisis?
For musicians, there's a continuing existential crisis. I imagine like a lot of entrepreneurs, until you really make it big, you're always kind of questioning, is this the right thing to be doing? Because it's, there's a lot of seeming instability in what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, there were times my dad was like, so what are you going to do like this summer? And I was like, I want to make a viral video. It's like, what? Like, what is, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, it's great. But it worked. I remember that we were riding together to New York, and I was on my way to record Rohan for the Orapia video, which is one of the more popular videos that I've done. And crazy as it seems, it kind of worked. But in terms of crises, so I did videos for a couple of years, and then I decided to do a Kickstarter campaign, which is now a couple of years back, to raise money for a new album, which I just finished and released a month ago, by the way.
Yeah, I was one of the contributors for the Kickstarter campaign too.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, thank you. So that was a really interesting moment in there, because when talking about like entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, there's so much importance given to funding. And yeah, I kind of was sucked into that as well. And I mean, of course, everybody thinks about money all the time, and that's kind of what everything revolves around. But when you're dealing with like creative work, like music, you have to kind of separate your brain from that way of thinking. Otherwise, it can be really dangerous to the work, which is something that I kind of figured out the hard way. I kind of was always thinking, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to get a big pile of money and then just do creative work? And what I realized was, after getting funded, like immediately after, what came with it was a huge sense of pressure, because the feeling that suddenly came was something like, here I am, I'm funded now. Now it's my chance to kind of get famous or be really successful. And that feeling that now I have to be successful and now I have a short period of time to do it, I think is not when you do your best work, especially for creative work. I can't speak for other types of work. I imagine it's somewhat similar, but yeah, that was tough. And it kind of took me almost a year to get out of that place where I felt like I could be more, kind of reorient my mind to do proper good work.
So you mentioned that at some point of time you figured out that this is not the route you intended to go on, and then you rectified, and then you said, what am I doing? This is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And your music has not been soulful. What led you to that epiphany?
Boy, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure there was an exact moment. It was just a general feeling that just kind of became stronger. And there was a moment of realization when I realized that I had to reevaluate all the music on the CD and basically recompose and re-record it.
So did you actually go about changing all the songs on the Filament album and redid all of them?
I did. I had a demo CD when I did the initial Kickstarter project of like 9 or 10 songs, and none of those songs are on the final album. It's completely different, even from like a couple months, like 3 or 4 months in after the Kickstarter project finished funding. Even from there, I was like really not happy with anything, and I did it from scratch. Yeah, no, but I mean, in the end, it was a really good learning experience. I think I learned some valuable lessons from that. First of off, being like, I can't try to put myself in a different category, like in terms of music. Like, I can't try to work for popularity or an instant hit or anything like that. It's really that same standard. It has to just come from me, if that makes sense. That's one thing. The other thing, which is a big thing, which is that I'm going to do the creative work first and then let the funding just push that farther. The funding is never going to take a precedent.
My dear fellow rock stars, you can find links to everything of value we have mentioned in today's episode by going to repodcast.com, clicking on the podcast tab, and find Shankar on the page. Or just enter in Shankar in the search bar and his show notes will pop right up. So go to the website, leave a comment or two, and let us know what you think about this episode. Or what else would you like to see on Rocking Entrepreneur Podcast? Thanks a lot, Shankar Tucker, for taking your valuable time out.
Thank you so much, Tushar.
And we wish you all the best with all your future releases, all your future songs. May they be super hit, and I'll definitely be following them.
Awesome.
And we hope to continue talking to you on Rocking Entrepreneur Podcast.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Thank you, Tushar.